Hi guys, welcome to the video. So in today's video we're going to look at the jab. So the jab, or kazamaski as it's called in karate, is a pretty basic strike. It's probably one of the first strikes you'll learn in any martial art you'll do. However, it's not necessarily a simple strike. It's got a lot of complexity to it. So we want to think, we're on a basic fighting stance, whatever your fighting stance is. So with us, we tend to do some kicking as well. So we want to think about our width of our hips. So I want to be in front fighting stance. I tend to keep my toes turned in. It helps me to protect my groin. My hands are up this way. With your hands, there's a couple of things to think about. So I always teach my students to make sure that they're thinking about their hands a bit like a telephone. So if my hands are here, and I'm assuming that I'm fighting predominantly a striker as opposed to a grappler. If I'm fighting a grappler, my hands might be a bit lower. But if it's mainly a striker, I'm in boxing or kickboxing or something like that, my hands are normally up. Elbows are tucked in. This hand, the fist is facing upwards, the thumb is facing me. Okay? And I want to think about making a phone call. So if I can make a phone call easily enough from my hands, yeah, should be roughly in the right position. My chin is tucked in to protect my chin from strikes from this side. This hand is up here to protect this chin from strikes from the other side. So when we look at our jab, we want to think about a couple of things. So if I'm fighting and I'm fighting someone who's a bit of a grappler, then what I want to think about is as I strike out here, I want to rotate the wrist at the end, but I want my elbow to face downwards. Okay, this protects my arm, stops me getting locks on it so easily. What it also does is if I'm shadow boxing, it means I'm not going to hyperextend my joint, damage my joint. If I'm fighting someone and I don't have to worry about the grappling aspect of it, my jab will come out and it will rotate over at the end. This rotation you can kind of see here, if my fist is here and I rotate it, you see how the shoulder rises. So as the shoulder rises, my fist is now sort of 45 degrees down, and it's now protecting my jaw on this side. So even once I've struck out here and I've hit here, I'm still protected here. Okay. A little bit open down here, but the wrong way, I don't like too much at the moment. So my basic motion for a jab will be to come out, extend. I want it to come in a straight line. Okay, the shortest distance from point A to point B is a straight line. So I want it to come from here, and I want it to flow straight out towards my target. Okay, I'm not trying to loop or anything. The next thing I want to think about is my hips. So what are my hips doing? So what I want to think about is my hips and my shoulders. So the body is an I shape. So I've got a line across here, which are my hips, a line across here, which are my shoulders, and down the centre is my spine. Okay, and we rotate on that axis. So if I pull my hip back and I pull my shoulder back, so I might want to think about it's almost like thinking about elbowing somebody in your mind. So as I pull this back here, you can see how it extends this front arm. So if I'm just about reaching here and I come back a little bit, okay, if I pull and pull, you see I've got a little bit extra reach. So whereas before I wasn't hitting the target, now I am. So I want to think when I'm striking, I want to pull, it's almost like a bow and arrow, my hip and my shoulder to extend out, hit my target. I want to hit the target with these two knuckles here, ideally, and my target area is ideally either tip of the eyebrow, so I want to try and split the eyebrow here, get blood into the eye, and start the side. Hit the jaw, hit the base of the ear, so I'm aiming for just underneath the earlobe here, or if I'm doing a dropping, so we can jab from a standing point, we can drop into a jab. I'm trying to aim for the floating ribs, I'm trying to aim for the sternum. Okay. We can look at the jab in sort of one of three ways. We can use it as a rangefinder, or something that's just going to flick out and get us to understand what the other person is doing. So I might want to be a little bit further away, I throw my jab out here, and I want to see what my reaction is. I'm not too worried about getting power into or hitting into it, I just want to see what my opponent's trying to do. What I'm also potentially looking at is to range. So if I'm pretty much just touching or just a little bit away, I know that my cross is going to hit, I know that my leg strike's going to hit. Yeah. So I'm after this as a rangefinder, I'm after it as just to see what the other person is going to do. We can use it as a power strike as well. So when I'm using my strikes as a power strike, I try to think about hitting with the elbow, not the fist. So when I'm aiming to, what I mean by that is, so if I'm aiming to hit here on the jaw, I want to kind of hit with my elbow being roughly where the jaw is now. So as I hit through, it's pushing through the target. And that'll get you a bit more power into your strikes. Okay, so we're going to start here, extend out. Okay, as I say, if we're fighting predominantly strikers, we're rotating and protecting the jaw. There's a couple of ways of practicing on a bag. So what we want to think about if we've got a bag is I'm going to start here, this is my distance, I'm giving my starting distance, and what I'm probably going to do is slide out a little bit. Okay, so now a little bit away from that. And my footstep, my motion for this initial strike will be to lift this foot, step it forward and do a short draw with the other foot. This gets me out. So I'm going to start here. Okay. So it's a step and a pull. Okay, so it's a sort of succeeding step, if that makes sense. So we extend and we shorten. Another technique we can look at is to shorten the step first. So the idea of this is it hides what I'm doing. So I can be here with my partner, okay, and essentially they can kind of, it's not very out of reach. But if I shorten here, then hopefully they haven't noticed my body motion from the top part, and then you can see here now getting out of range. So I'm getting out here, and I'm hitting my target. If I'm double jabbing, I'm going to combine the two. So essentially I've got my slip, my step, my slide, and I'm hitting out. And then what I want to do when I throw my, so what you'll see a lot of people do is bang, bang. It's not that. So it's step, slide, jab, come back, and as it's coming back I'm bringing this foot forward a little bit further, and then I jab out a second time. Okay, so my motion will be one, comes back, as it comes back, I just shuffle in, step out a second time. Okay. The other option we can use this for is a defensive sort of motion. So, for example, I might start a jab, and I cross as missed, so I come in, knee, and then as I pull away, I might throw a jab out. Normally, I'm going off at a different angle, so what I will try and do is if I'm striking here, bang, bang, pull off to one side, throw out a jab, and all that's really doing is stopping the person following me. I'm not trying to do any real damage to the person, I'm just trying to stop them following me. A couple of mistakes people make is too much tension. So they're here, they're tensing all the way through the strike. We want to be relaxed, and we want to tense at the end. All right, so you want to be nice and relaxed, and when you're doing this, you want to be relaxed. The other one that people tend to do, lean forwards. So if I lean forwards, then my balance is in the wrong position, I'm going to cause myself problems. If you find me as a grappler, I will pull you off balance. Okay, and that's the jab, basically. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, like. I'll try and do some more videos, more along the lines of kickboxing type videos, but there'll be a mix of kickboxing, jiu-jitsu type videos then. Okay. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you in the next video.